Welcome everyone, and we're already on the last video of this particular series of the Arena Day Open 7 wins, 1 loss streak. So today I'm gonna be showing the footage of the finale of this event. The queue is already on the screen waiting for the opponent to pop up. And in this last game I was up against Suck 736. I was hoping for an easy game, but at the same time I was already satisfied with my 6 wins, so I wasn't too stressed. At this point I kind of felt like if I can win more than 6 then it's great, and if I do not then I felt I did more than extraordinary as is, pulling off 6 wins in an event where you are basically playing with a 60% win chance deck. So I was looking at this and I saw I have the Sphinx of Foresight, and I did notice they are on a Yorion Sky Nomad, so it's the perfect matchup for like a final boss in a long streak of battles. I did have a Yorion matchup before this as well, but I was quite excited for this. I was hoping for a Winota on top, and I saw the lands and I knew I needed lands, but at the same time, I kind of had to ensure that I did draw into the Winota soon, because if I did not, then I was going to be in quite a bit of trouble. So my plan here was to keep 1 land on top, so I could scry with the Charming Prince on turn 2, and in the end I decided to put that one too, so next turn when I basically draw, then I would basically have all my lands already, and the only missing piece would be the Winota at this point. So the opponent is playing Yorion, so at this point I kind of knew that their turn 2 play wasn't going to be too strong either, so this allowed me to get the Charming Prince down now and to scry a bit more, and in my mind I thought basically I've been digging quite far now, so there should be a Charming Prince coming soon. I was missing a second blue source though, so I couldn't put the Sphinx of Foresight down naturally to start scrying for the Winota like that. But well, it is a tough matchup against Yorion decks, because you are constantly aware that once they reach their 5 mana, and if they have a Fires of Invention up, that they can basically go off completely. I did not manage to find the Winota yet again, so at this point I realized like, okay, I'm probably best off going for an aggro plan, and I shocked the land in there thinking to play the Yumori, but I went ahead and attacked in first just to see what their reaction is. They Scourging Dragonfire dead, so that gave me an opportunity to put Yumori down now. I knew there's a high chance to have a Shatter the Sky the coming turn, but at least I still had the Goose in hand to put down together with the Winota later on, plus having the Yumori on the field now kind of gave me a bit of aggro strategy, because I could keep on attacking in and dealing massive amounts of damage. And I noticed that the opponent basically missed a land drop, which is perfect for us. I straight away capitalized on that by putting the Hectors down now, hoping to close out the game in the following turn. Opponent went ahead and put the Shark down. They did get a draw off that, so they were very likely to finally have found the 4th land and clearing everything. Having protection from everything but 2 was quite useful though, because this meant that Deafening Clarion would not get rid of the Hectors in case they were running that. But they drew into a tap land, which meant that now I basically had 1 free turn to attack in with everything, and then hopefully, if at the very least the Hector survived the following turn, I will be able to attack in for the win. Because Hector's is good in the sense that Hector's cannot be stolen by Agent of Treachery. Like, there is nothing they can do to unless they have something that removes protection, but I don't think anybody really plays that right now. But as you can see, like, Hector's has protection, and even if he stole something, then that was kind of it for him. But then he ended up playing Elspeth, Sun's Nemesis, which was a bit unexpected. I have not seen Elspeth in many Yorion decks for quite some time, so well, that happened, but that was fine. I knew that because the Elspeth was now at 2 loyalty, he would not be able to heal himself again, so I forced him to trade in like this. Like, of course, he would be able to put down some tokens next turn and then play the Looker and steal something anyways, but like I said, as long as I had the Hectors on the field, I was not really concerned about them stealing anything. I also had blue mana in hand now, so I did have the opportunity to put down the Sphinx of Foresight now. I was kind of considering it originally, like, should I put it down now, but I felt I have so much power on the board already that even if they steal something, and even if they heal up a bit, I'm probably fine for to win in the next 2 turns. So I left it as is. I kept the Sphinx in hand in case they did board clear, so I had something to come back with in the coming turn. Then the opponent went ahead and did this, and this basically meant that if they blocked poorly, I would be able to run away with the game there. And then I also drew into the Kenrid, which did allow me to give everything trample, and at this point I was pretty confident to win the game on the spot. So I went in, attacked with everything, and the good thing about what went on now was that I won this game with the aggro strategy that I talked about before, that when you use Yumori in combination with Winota, before the changes to Companion at least, you can very easily switch to an aggro strategy in case your Winota strategy fails. Like if they put something on the field that stops you from fetching stuff from the deck, like the Gravedigger's Cage, then you can still win quite easily. So now I put the Shifting Ceratops into the deck because I realized since they have quite a bit of removal and a lot of stuff can go wrong, I preferred the protection game plan with protection from blue, so that if I landed my Ceratops, then they would not be able to interact with it other than a board wipe. And I don't really mind board if they use a board wipe. I can play around that. We have plenty of creatures to put down or to recover from, so I went with mostly this, but I did want some Brazen Borrowers in, but I couldn't really figure out what to replace. So this is what I took into the second game, and then in the third game I would be able to adjust it more for a more proactive game plan. So here I did have to Winota, but I was missing a red mana source, which basically meant that if I somehow drew into a red land, I would be able to most likely win on as early as turn 3, but unfortunately I had to mulligan it, and now I did have 4 lands, but missing the Winota, so sadly I had to mulligan again. And finally I had a hand that I felt is worth keeping. So I put a land and the agent back in the deck and left it as this, hoping that maybe I can put down the Knight of Autumn and still be able to put down the Winota in the following turn. I drew into a Kenrid. I was kind of hoping for a Raptor here, but unfortunately that was not meant to be. And we did find the Shifting Ceratops there, so at least if the Winota plan failed, at least I still had the Shifting Ceratops ready to attack and to avoid all the nonsense that the agent would cause. The opponent did clear my Knight of Autumn, so at this point it was pretty much Shifting Ceratops game plan, but I also realized that they could still have a board clear. So if I remember correctly, I went with playing the Yumori first, just in case they wanted to clear. But I did give it some thought. I'm not sure if I went for the Shifting Ceratops. Yeah, I went for this anyways, never mind. I was thinking at this point, like, I should play the Yumori, so if they use a Shatter the Sky, then at least I get one draw and I still have my protection from blue card, but in the end I felt like going with the Shifting Ceratops anyways and take the risk. But it ended up not really mattering much because they did have the Elspeth Conquers Death, so I didn't dodge much there. Like, I would have avoided an agent here if I had played the Yumori, because they would have been able to sacrifice the shark and steal one of my things. And here I basically said good game because I wanted them to kind of think that I don't have anything and maybe overextend or make bad plays. And there came the Luca, so my suspicion was correct that they did have an agent, and one of the reasons why I played the Ceratops over the Yumori, because like I said, I was worrying about the board wipe, but this Shark plus Luca plan would be a great way for them to take the Yumori out of my hand and I would lose it forever, so at least I was able to avoid them from getting a proper target like that. And now I basically had to Renata down. I had one chance to find an Agent of Treachery and I was hoping to somehow be able to snatch something like this Luca and then sacrificing my Renata or something to fetch another agent. Or the Arboreal Grazer, like, I was thinking, like, I can sacrifice the Renata and ensure that I get something like an agent, but I took the risk here and I went with the Arboreal Grazer instead. Did not work out for me, unfortunately. I should probably just have sacrificed the Renata at this spot, because I did have one Kenrid in hand already, which kind of increased the chances of finding an agent of the Renata, but oh well, I just took the risk there anyway, so this kind of meant that next turn they were most likely going to place down the Yorion and steal my Renata, and by doing so they would basically play into my plan that I could place down my second Renata and attack in to counter steal their stuff. They did clear the agent, they did clear the Knight of Autumn there, so this kind of put me in a tough spot where placing the Yumori down was kind of the main plan here, so I placed this down together with the Stone Cold Serpent right there for one, and even though they had a Renata and two non-human creatures, I felt the deck is so big, there's really no way for them to find more than one agent on top. But, well, you will see what happens, and I really looked at the screen with disbelief of how lucky the opponent had just gotten. I was stabbing with the Stone Cold Serpent a bit to act like I was going to block. Of course, I had no real intention to block at all. They went in with both creatures and I thought, like, oh well, they got like 70 cards in the deck or something, or 60 cards left in the deck. What are the odds of them actually finding something on top? So they went ahead and found the first agent. And then after that they went ahead and found a second agent, and then I realized, like, okay, yeah, this game is over. And I was looking at the stream in disbelief, like, this deck basically runs 3 agents and they already had one of the agents, so what were the odds of them actually finding the other 2 in the top 14? I expected them to find at least one of them, but finding two at the top was complete insanity to me, and they did steal one of my lands as well, so yeah, at this point I needed a red land on top to maybe make a little bit of a comeback with the Stone Cold Serpent attacking in, but it looked extremely grim, especially with them drawing 9 cards right there. In a normal circumstance, I would have forfeit here because there's no real coming back at this point, but because there was so much money involved, I believe I played a little bit longer to try and gather more information of what they have and what the plan is. And I did draw into a red land, which did allow me to attack in with the Stone Cold Serpent one more time. And at this point, my plan was to kind of steal one of the important things, like either go in and stealing the Elspeth Conquers Death, or maybe even stealing their Yorion so I had an extra attacker. So I went full in onto the Luca, even though I knew that most likely they did not have any more Agent of Treacheries in the deck, because they did have all 3 of them on the field already, and I believe this deck only runs 3. So I tried fetching the Yorion here. This did set me up for a very dangerous play, because what they could do now is play a Teferi and bounce the Yorion back to the hand, which resulted in them being able to steal 3 more things, but I just decided like, okay, maybe they don't have the Teferi right now, and just took the risk there as well, but it seemed that the opponent pretty much had everything, and they were going to steal 3 more things of mine just like that. And this kind of gameplay is why I'm really happy Age of Treachery in general is banned, because there's so many decks out there that don't stand a single chance against this kind of strategies. So yeah, so now I was basically on the play again, and I was able to go first, so going for the Sphinx of Foresight was important. And now it was probably better to lower my curve a bit like that, like putting away the control elements. I got rid of some stuff here and there to try and balance out what I wanted to do. So I brought in the Marauding Raptors to try and ensure that I have a turn 3 play. I wasn't sure what to cut here, so I decided that my best plan right here was most likely to get a turn 3 win. So I did side out the Marauding Raptors. I did side out the Knight of Autumns, which can deal with Fires of Invention, and went with this. And I saw my hand, and my first thought is like, oh my god, this hand is amazing. I had pretty much everything to ensure a turn 3 Marauding Raptor, unless they had some control elements or bounces or something like that. So I put down my Grazer, put down that Triumph right away, and I was really psyched that I had my chance to go in and go all in with the Raptor and the Winota on the following turn. So all I needed now was basically a land, but unfortunately they had a Scorching Dragonfire, and that set back my plan. I did not draw a land, so I played my second Marauding Raptor. And this is where the bad luck started a little bit, and things started to turn a little bit gloomy, to be honest. I was able to untap there, and I put down the Winota here. And I was able to dig 14 deep, which is quite deep when it comes to trying to find an Agent of Treachery. And then the opponent decided to kill that Winota as well, so I just attacked in with the Raptor right there, put down the Triome, and at least I had a second Winota in hand to try and make this game plan work yet again. But the opponent shattered the sky, and that was kind of it. So now it was time to start putting down the Yumori and hoping they had no way of dealing with the board yet again, so I could put down my Winota as soon as possible and attack it again. But here came down to Fairy to disrupt the strategy some more, so I went ahead and I believe I ended up playing the... I think I was thinking like, should I play the Kenrid now and just start attacking in? Because with Kenrid and Haste I was basically able to get rid of that Teferi at least and make sure they do not shatter the sky me on my turn. So I went with Kenrid and I got rid of the Teferi right there. Especially since they did not have a Fires of Invention on the field just yet. Also, since they did see my Knight of Autumn in the previous game, I kind of assumed that they thought I might be running a lot of enchantment removal in my deck, which may have been the reason that which could have meant that they sided out the Fires of Invention, even though I no longer had any Knight of Autumn in my deck. So I had two options here. I could play the Sphinx or the Yumori again and give everything haste, but in this case I went with the Sphinx plan because if they survived then I would still be able to scry next turn, and that's something that the Yumori would not offer me. This did reveal more cards to them than I was comfortable about them knowing, but I thought with this kind of game plan, if they were holding up a Shatter the Sky, it kind of forced them to use it during their turn now instead of waiting longer. So they decided to Shark Typhoon there, so this kind of meant that the Luca was probably going to come down in the following turn, but that was fine, because I still had plenty of stuff on the field right now. So I kind of expected them to get rid of the Sphinx here because of the danger that Winota causes, but they went ahead and exiled the Kenrid instead, which was quite surprising. I did keep the land on top there simply because having 7 lands kind of meant that I would be able to play the Yumori and the Winota in the same turn, but in the end I decided not to overextend. The game was a bit buggy at this time because, as you can see, the arrow keeps shifting all over the screen. It's a bug that has been around for a few days now. I'm not sure why, but I decided to take the Elspeth Conquers Death simply because that way during my turn they had no way of interacting with my board. But the opponent still didn't play a Shatter the Sky, and at this point I was kind of thinking like, okay, if they haven't played the Shatter the Sky yet, then most likely they don't have it. So it was pretty much just a waiting game here to see do they have to Shatter the Sky or not. They ended up playing a Omen of the Sea, which also kind of enforced to me in my thoughts like most likely they don't have to Shatter the Sky, and they were scrying everything to the bottom. They did not shock that in, so it seemed like I was pretty much good to go at this point, so they went ahead and played 2 tokens there, but if I was able to steal even one of the tokens, then I was in a pretty good spot as well, so I attacked them with everything, seeing if I could find more stuff on top, but instead I found the Kenrid. I was able to give everything trample, and that was pretty much the game for them. And I was super happy at this point because this meant that I basically just 7-1 the entire event, even going up against one of the top tier decks in the format at this particular point of time. And I gave a little scream of excitement, and my wife as well. She was super happy that we were able to pull this off right here. And it was just amazing. And so I swapped to the next screen, and I was still looking at it in disbelief, kind of, because financially things have been so rough for us the past year or so, with not being able to get a job and all this kind of thing. So not having income and suddenly having the opportunity to get this $2,000 prize was really a lifesaver. And I think I also put this in my Reddit post that this really has a huge quality of life impact on my life, at least, and I'm super happy about that. At this point I was still looking at it in disbelief, like, wow, 7-win, and I was just sitting there like, oh my god, how did I even pull this off? But yeah, we did it, and there's nothing else to say about it. And the cards that I used to get this, they are banned now, and most likely I saw that the ban update has been delayed a bit, so that's a bit of a shame. I was kind of hoping to start recording some Titan's Nest footage today, but after 8 games of having my Titan's Nest stolen by the opponent, I think I will probably delay recording that footage until tomorrow. So yeah, so that's it. That was pretty much the entire series for me. Like, I did cut out that 5th win game yesterday because there was too much waiting going on. And yeah, if you still want to see that game, just let me know. I will try and edit that one in anyways. But that's all for me for today, and I hope you enjoyed the entire journey from nothing to 7 wins. And if you have not subscribed already, if you would consider doing so, it would be a huge help to me. I don't know why I wanted to say cruel help to me, but well, that's gruel is something else. So that's all from me for today. I will be back tomorrow, most likely with the Titan's Nest deck that I've been working on, and I hope you liked it. Sorry that this week has been different than my content from the previous month or so, but I hope to go back to a regular schedule now. Also, I do have a capture card and a Nintendo Switch. So I was kind of considering if there are people out there who would like something like a Zelda Breath of the Wild playthrough. I don't want to do that full-time though. I don't want to keep uploading Zelda footage every single day because I want this channel to be mainly about Magic the Gathering related products and games. But if there is an audience out there that would like to join me on that Zelda journey, please let me know, then I will record the footage and upload it on here. Also, if I do Zelda related stuff, I think it's also a great time, like yesterday, to have a chat and go through some questions that I received in my mail, Reddit and Twitter. So even if you are not a huge Zelda fan, it could also become a bit of a Q&A kind of session where people can ask me questions about decks and the metagame and what my thoughts are on certain things. So yeah, that's all. Just let me know if you want to see other kind of gameplay on this channel as well, and also let me know if you wanted to stick with Magic the Gathering only, so that I can have a kind of a guess of what people want, because the last thing I want at this point, especially since I'm super happy that there's people watching my channel. I'm really happy with all the kind comments I'm getting. I don't want to put out content out there that everybody doesn't enjoy. Then it's a waste of my time, and it's also a waste of your time, in my opinion. So thank you for watching, and see you all tomorrow with the Titan's Nest video. Take care.